Okay, this video is a book review of the book right here. It's called Vitamania. The author's name is Catherine Price. This is her. She's a young lady. She became interested in nutrition because she herself was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. She had majored in journalism, which is a bad sign. She really doesn't have much background knowledge. But the book was still good because she had a sincere desire to really understand vitamins and supplements and nutrition. She's trying to save her own life. So that's good. She's motivated. So I like that about the book. It seemed like a sincere attempt to understand the vitamin industry, the supplement industry, and develop an understanding of nutrition. So she's trying to figure it all out. She's doing a good thing. She did a good job summarizing the history of vitamin research. That was an interesting part of the book. She went through the researchers and how they discovered the different vitamins and how scientific awareness improved on that. Good summaries of vitamin deficiency diseases. In general, the vitamin deficiency diseases are going to be with the water-soluble vitamins. Okay, the way you can remember what's water-soluble and fat-soluble is fat-soluble is, the mnemonic is ADEK. It's an acronym, A-D-E-K. So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, those are fat-soluble. And in general, it's the water-soluble ones, because we can urinate them out very quickly, that we're at high risk to become deficient on. In general, with the fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, we're more at risk to become overloaded with them and to have excess diseases. So like I said, it was real good, the stuff on beriberi and scurvy. Beriberi is thiamine B1 deficiency, scurvy is vitamin C deficiency. Good explanation of how the supplement industry is really poorly regulated, if at all regulated, and it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. She went on about that too much, though. That was like hours about every little detail of that, the Proxmire Amendment and all that stuff. Okay, other problems with the book, what I found humorous was she touted the prescription pharmaceutical industry as an example of something that's well regulated. She's obviously very young and doesn't know what she's talking about as far as that's concerned. Big pharma, they buy the journals, they buy the scientists. Their scientific research is a joke. Like I said, she spent too much time grouching about supplements. But I still enjoyed the book. I finished it all the way to the end. And here's my advice to her. If you want to understand nutrition, go back to the old days before the big corporations were involved, before Big Pharma was established. Read about, Walter Kempner and the rice diet out in North Carolina. Read about Dennis Burkitt out in Africa and abdominal pressure syndrome and the benefit of dietary fiber, Western versus plant-based diets. Read about Nathan Pritikin and how he saved his own life and really did extensive literature reviews on dietary fat, dietary protein, and many other subjects. And the guy was a genius, and he writes very clearly. Caldwell Esselstyn's low-fat vegan diet, reversing coronary artery disease, best results of anybody in the world. T. Colin Campbell figuring out that animal protein was the #1 carcinogen on the planet. The Mastering Diabetes guys do a good job of showing the benefits of fruits for patients with diabetes and a lot of other useful information about type 1 and type 2 diabetes. They both have type 1 diabetes. Jeff Nelson does a good job of he's kind of like the equivalent in many ways of like a nutrition expert journalist, okay? And he does all kinds of stuff with very useful videos explaining the pitfalls of a lot of supplements, even ones that are vegan, like olive oil and omega-3 oils and all that sort of stuff. So you'll find a lot of useful videos of his over at VegSource. For myself, I go into a lot more advanced topics on nutrition, so if you want to learn those, you'll find them at my channel. If you do these things, you'll have a solid grounding in nutrition, and you'll be able to discuss things from a position of strength in terms of knowing the real literature before all this corporate stuff got in place. So anyways, I did find the book enjoyable. It was an enjoyable thing. I listened to the audiobook in the car, audio CD book, and I liked it. It entertained me. There's 9 CDs, so it's about 9 hours of content.